You've seen it before. Someone walks into a room, says almost nothing, and suddenly everyone's paying attention. Their voice isn't louder, their stories aren't funnier, but somehow they command the space. Meanwhile, you talk more, you try harder, and the harder you try, the faster people's eyes drift away. They nod, they smile, but their mind is already somewhere else. You walk away wondering, why do their words land when mine float past unnoticed? It's not your voice, that it's not your vocabulary, it's your presence. There's a difference between people who talk and people whose words carry weight. The Stoics understood this long before microphones, followers, or fame existed. They knew communication wasn't about what you said, but about what you didn't need to say. Today, I'll show you 20 Stoic communication secrets that will quietly shift how people see you, listen to you, and remember you. No tricks, no manipulation, just principles that turn noise into meaning and turn you into the person everyone wants to hear when you finally speak. By the end of this video, you won't just learn how to talk, you'll learn how to command attention without asking for it. Because attraction isn't built through performance, it's built through presence. And presence begins with silence. Let's begin. Secret 1. Tell me more about that. Most people listen just to reply. They wait for their turn to talk, not to understand. And that's why their conversations die shallow. But when you say, tell me more about that, everything changes. You shift the focus from you to them. You make the other person feel seen, heard, and valued. The Stoics taught that curiosity is not weakness, it's wisdom, because when you ask, you learn, and when you learn, you grow. Socrates, the father of Stoic thought, rarely gave answers that he asked questions that revealed the truth hidden in others. That's the secret. Powerful people don't need to prove they're smart. They make others feel smart in their presence. So next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to interrupt. Don't compete for attention. Earn connection. Simply say, tell me more about that. And watch how people start opening up to you like never before. That's how respect begins, not with more words, but with better listening. Secret 2, I don't know. It sounds simple, but these 3 words are among the hardest for the human ego to speak, because deep down, we fear looking weak, unprepared, or less intelligent. Yet the Stoics saw it differently. Admitting ignorance wasn't weakness, it was a beginning of wisdom. Socrates once said, I know that I know nothing. It wasn't self-deprecation. It was mastery, the kind of humility that opens the door to real growth. When you say, I don't know, you free yourself from the pressure to appear perfect. You show confidence in truth, not in image, and people trust that because honesty creates respect, while pretense builds walls. Think about the strongest leaders and thinkers in history, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They questioned everything, even their own beliefs. They were learners before they were teachers. In a world full of people pretending to have all the answers, the one who can calmly say, I don't know, stands out. So don't fear uncertainty. Admit what you don't know, because that's exactly how you grow into someone who eventually does know, not through pride, but through patience and the courage to learn. Secret 3, you might be right. For words that disarm ego, silence conflict, and invite peace, most arguments aren't about truth. They're about pride. People don't want to understand. They want to win. But when you say, you might be right, something powerful happens. The tension breaks. The need to prove yourself fades away. That you're no longer fighting to dominate. You're leading with control. The Stoics believe that anger and defensiveness come from weakness, not strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. When others raise their voice, you lower yours. When they throw words like weapons, you respond with calm. Saying you might be right doesn't mean you agree. That it means you're mature enough to value peace over pride. That it means you've mastered your emotions enough to not let them control you. You're signaling that you don't need validation, because truth speaks for itself. And that's what separates a wise man from a loud one. So next time someone argues just to prove a point, don't take the bait. Smile, pause, and say, You might be right. You'll end the argument, and you'll win something much more powerful than victory: self-control. Secret 4. Help me understand. 3 words that turn conflict into connection. When most people disagree, they listen to respond, not to learn. Their goal is to defend, not to understand. But a Stoic doesn't rush to judgment, he seeks clarity before reaction. When you say, "Help me understand," you do 2 things. You show humility, that you're willing to learn, and you give the other person a sense of respect, that their perspective matters. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Understanding is power, not the kind that dominates, but the kind that connects. Imagine how many arguments could be avoided if people just pause and ask, "Help me understand your side," instead of assuming, instead of attacking, because the moment you seek to understand, you disarm the ego, both yours and theirs. This phrase creates trust that IT turns opponents into allies, and debates into discussions that IT shows you value wisdom more than winning. So the next time you find yourself in disagreement, don't rush to prove your point. Lean back, breathe, and ask, "Help me understand." You'll not only learn something new, you'll learn the kind of respect that can't be forced, only given. Secret 5. I hear you. Most people listen with their ears, but Stoics listen with their presence. When you say, "I hear you," you're not just acknowledging words. You're acknowledging a human being, that you're saying, "I'm not just waiting for my turn to speak. I'm truly listening." In a noisy world full of opinions, one of the rarest gifts you can give is silence. Not the silence of indifference, but the silence of attention. The Stoics believe that listening is a form of strength because it takes patience, discipline, and self-control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in thought or action, I'll gladly change." That's not passiveness. That's power, the power to remain calm, open, and grounded in truth. When someone feels heard, they stop fighting to be understood. The anger fades, the pride softens, and in that space, real understanding begins. So next time someone opens up, don't rush to advise or don't rush to fix, just listen. Look them in the eye, nod, and say, "I hear you." Because sometimes that's all someone really needs, to know that their words landed somewhere that matters. Secret 6. I understand. 2 simple words, but they carry the weight of empathy, wisdom, and emotional mastery. When you say, "I understand," you're not claiming to have lived the same pain. You're saying, "I see where you're coming from." And that alone can soften even the hardest hearts. The Stoics taught that empathy isn't weakness, it's strength under control. To understand someone doesn't mean you agree with them. It means you recognize their humanity, even when their behavior challenges yours. Epictetus reminded his students, when someone does wrong, remember that he acted according to what seems right to him. In other words, most people are doing the best they can with what they know. Saying "I understand" turns defensiveness into trust. It diffuses tension. It lowers voices. It opens minds. It tells the other person, "You don't have to fight to be seen. I already see you." The strongest people aren't the ones who argue the loudest, but they're the ones who can remain calm, patient, and compassionate even when they're misunderstood. So the next time you find yourself in conflict or confusion, take a breath, look the other person in the eye, and say, "I understand." Because the moment you choose understanding over judgment, you're no longer reacting, you're leading. Secret 7. This moment is enough. We spend so much of life chasing what's next, the next goal, the next success, the next version of happiness. But Stoicism teaches that peace doesn't live in the future. It lives right here, in this moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Because the past can't be changed and the future hasn't arrived. The only time you truly live is now." When you whisper to yourself, "This moment is enough," you're not saying you'll never want more. You're saying that right now, nothing is missing, that you're taking back control from the endless craving that keeps the world restless. The Stoics believed the greatest wealth was contentment. Not the kind that dulls ambition, but the kind that gives you peace even while you work toward your goals. Think about it. Every time you say, "I'll be happy when," you push your peace further away, but when you stop and breathe and say, "This moment is enough," you reclaim your power from everything outside of you. So pause for a second. Feel your heartbeat. Look around. Whatever is happening right now, it's enough, because this moment is all you ever truly have. Secret 8. Be hard on yourself, but gentle with others. The Stoics lived by discipline, but their discipline began within. They demanded excellence from themselves and patience for everyone else. Today, people often reverse that. They judge others harshly while giving themselves excuses. But Stoicism flips that mindset. It says, hold yourself to a higher standard and forgive others for falling short. Epictetus said, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Because the only person you can truly control is you. When you're hard on yourself, you sharpen your mind, strengthen your will, and build character. You stop blaming and start improving. But when you're gentle with others, you build trust, respect, and peace. It doesn't mean letting people walk over you. It means understanding that everyone is fighting invisible battles. You don't add to their burden. You inspire them through your calm example. The Stoic way is not about perfection, though it's about personal responsibility, to lead through actions, not words. So wake up each day and demand more from yourself, more focus, more patience, more honesty. But when someone else fails, don't rush to anger. Remember, you failed before too. Be your own toughest critic and the world's quiet strength. That balance, discipline, and compassion is where true mastery lies. Secret 9. Detach from the outcome. You can control your effort, but never the result. That's one of the hardest Stoic truths to accept. Because deep down, we want certainty, that we want to know that our hard work will pay off, that love will be returned, that good intentions will lead to good outcomes. But life doesn't promise that. The Stoics taught that peace comes from focusing only on what's within your control, your actions, your attitude, your choices, and letting go of everything else. Epictetus said, some things are up to us and some things are not. When you accept that simple truth, you stop wasting energy on what you can't change. You stop measuring your worth by what happens and start defining it by how you respond. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. The IT means you care deeply, but wisely. You give your best and release the rest. You learn to say, I've done all I can. Now, the outcome is not my concern. That's how you stay calm in chaos, focus in failure, and humble in success. Because once you detach from the outcome, nothing can shake your peace. So whatever you're facing, a goal, a relationship, a challenge, do your best. Then let it go. As the Stoics knew well, the reward isn't in the result, it's in the effort. Secret 10. You are not your emotions. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not you. That they are like weather passing through the sky. The mistake most people make is identifying with every feeling that shows up. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm anxious. But the Stoics understood something deeper. You are the sky, not the storm. You are the observer, not the emotion itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That mind he spoke of isn't the emotional storm. It's a calm awareness behind it, the part of you that can step back and say, anger is arising within me. Fear is visiting me. Sadness is here, but it will leave. The moment you separate yourself from the emotion, you regain power over it. You stop reacting blindly and start responding wisely. Let's say someone insults you. Your first instinct might be to get defensive or angry, but the Stoic pause, that brief gap between feeling and reaction, is where your freedom lies. That space, you can choose, do I act from emotion or from reason? The Stoics didn't suppress emotion. They mastered it. They knew that emotions are signals, not orders. Anger might show that a boundary has been crossed. Fear might show you what matters to you. Sadness might reveal what you value. But once you've understood the message, you don't let the emotion drive the car. You thank it, learn from it, and return to calm. Remember this, you can feel deeply without being ruled by what you feel. You can let the storm pass and remain the sky. That's the essence of Stoic strength. Secret 11. The power of restraint. Don't react immediately. The world rewards fast talkers, quick replies, instant opinions. But wisdom doesn't live in speed, it lives in restraint. The Stoics believe that the gap between stimulus and response is where mastery begins. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And mastery begins with a pause. Someone insults you, someone provokes you, someone lies about you. Most people react instantly, defend themselves, argue, fight back. But when you react from emotion, you give your power away, you let the other person control your state. The Stoic doesn't rush to respond. He breathes, he observes what is feeling. He asks, does this require my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? Is silence the better reply? Restraint is not weakness, that is composure, that is knowing that your emotions belong to you, not to whoever triggered them. Think of Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, constantly criticized, betrayed, and tested that he could have ordered anyone's death with a word. But in his meditations, he reminded himself daily, when someone wrongs you, pause and ask what power you have for good in that moment. That's restraint, not reacting because you can, but waiting until you should. Here's what changes when you practice this. You stop being predictable. You stop being easy provoked. And people start respecting your calm, even fearing it a little, because they can't read or control you. Every time you hold your tongue when anger begs you to speak, you strengthen your self-command. And every time you speak after thought, not emotion, your words carry 10 times more weight. Restraint is a mark of a disciplined mind, that it's a difference between reacting to the world and mastering it. Remember, the loudest person in the room rarely has control. The calm one, the one who waits, who observes, who chooses when to act, always does. Secret 12. Detach from the outcome. Focus only on the process. Most people are slaves to results. They do something only if it guarantees success, validation, or attention. But the Stoics taught a truth few understand. You control your actions, not the outcome. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." You can control what you say. You can control how hard you wait. You can control how honest, disciplined, and focused you are. But once your effort leaves your hands, the result belongs to fate, not you. When you attach your peace to results, you lose twice. First, when the result doesn't go your way, and again when your mood collapses with it. But when you attach your peace to the process, you always win. You win in discipline. You win in integrity. You win because you stayed in control of the only thing that was ever truly yours, your effort. Think about it. You give a great speech, but the audience doesn't clap. You post something meaningful online, but no one reacts. You show up every day to improve yourself, but no one notices. The average person gives up. The Stoic doesn't, because he isn't doing it for applause, that is doing it from character, that he measures success not by attention, but by alignment. Did I do my best with what I had today? That's it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Do not waste the remainder of your life worrying about what others think of you. Be satisfied if you can live according to nature with truth and justice." When you detach from outcomes, something incredible happens. You become unstoppable. Criticism doesn't shake you. Failure doesn't define you. Praise doesn't inflate you. Because none of it was ever the point. You work because it's right, not because it's rewarded. You act with excellence because it's who you are, not because someone is watching. And ironically, that's what attracts success the most. People can feel when you're detached from needing it. When your peace doesn't depend on their approval, you become magnetic, calm, grounded. Detachment isn't giving up, that it's giving up control of what was never yours. Your job is the effort.fate's job, is the outcome.do yours, and let go of the rest. Secret 13. Control your tone. Speak like a leader, not a beggar. You can say the right words, but if your tone is wrong, people won't listen. Most people talk to be accepted. Their tone reveals neediness, fear, or insecurity. They rush, they over-explain, they seek approval in every sentence, and people can sense it instantly. A Stoic, on the other hand, speaks from composure, not desperation. Their tone carries calm authority, not arrogance, not aggression, just quiet control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Be calm and kind, and yet firm and strong." That balance is power. When your tone is steady and deliberate, people trust you more. Because tone communicates emotional control, and emotional control is rare. That IT says, "I am grounded, I am present, and I don't need your validation." Think of how a true leader speaks. They don't rush, they don't try to fill silence, they don't pitch their sentences upward as if asking for permission. They end sentences with weight, certainty, finality. Listen to your own voice next time you speak. Do you sound calm, or do you sound like you're asking to be liked? Are you delivering your words, or are you hoping they land? Are you in control, or are you performing? Your tone tells the truth, your words try to hide. A Stoic communicator trains their voice like a weapon. Slow down your pace, lower your pitch slightly, speak fewer words with more presence, and when you pause, let it breathe. Silence between sentences gives your words gravity. Imagine two people giving the same advice. One speaks nervously, eyes darting, try and convince you. The other speaks calmly, grounded, without rushing. You trust the second one, not because of what they said, but because of how they said it. Tone carries your energy, and when your energy says, "I don't need to prove anything," your words become magnetic. Seneca said, "Speech that charms the ear and the soul is born from a tranquil spirit." That's the Stoic secret. Calmness is persuasive. Confidence isn't loud, but it's quiet certainty. So next time you speak, remember this: you don't have to convince. You don't have to perform. Just speak from peace, not from panic. When your tone carries stillness, your presence speaks louder than any argument ever could. Secret 14. Stop explaining yourself. Let your actions speak. Most people waste energy justifying everything they do. Why they made a choice, why they said no, why they live the way they do. They think that if they explain enough, people will finally understand. But here's the truth. Those who truly understand you don't need explanations, and those who demand them will never be satisfied. A Stoic doesn't argue for their values. They embody them. They don't convince, they demonstrate. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." In other words, stop saying what you stand for. Show it through how you live. When you feel the need to over-explain, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this to communicate clearly or to be liked? If it's a second one, stop. Because every time you defend your choices to people who don't respect them, you hand them your peace. The Stoics understood that silence often says more than speech. If you're misunderstood, let it be. If they doubt you, let them. If they gossip, stay quiet, because time will reveal what arguments never could. Truth through consistency. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Stop telling people who you are, just live it. People will notice when you're consistent, calm, and unshaken. And those who don't matter. Explaining yourself constantly makes your words cheap. Living your values makes them priceless. Here's what happens when you stop explaining. Your presence becomes stronger. Your peace returns. Your word carry more weight when you do choose to speak. Because now, people know. If you said it, you mean it. If you did it, it's aligned with who you are. You no longer chase validation through words. You earn respect through integrity. The Stoics live by example. Their calmness in chaos, their patience under pressure. That was their explanation. And it was enough. So next time someone questions your choices, don't debate, don't defend. Just say, "You'll see." Then live in a way that makes the truth undeniable. Remember, explaining convinces minds, living convinces souls. Secret 15. Master the art of observation. Speak less, notice more. Most people walk through life half asleep, talking, reacting, assuming, but rarely noticing. They miss what's actually happening around them because they are too busy preparing what to say next. The Stoics, however, trained themselves to observe before reacting. To see things clearly, without judgment, without ego, without rushing. Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Observation isn't passive, it's active awareness. A discipline that you're not just seeing, you're studying, that you're noticing tone, energy, body language, patterns, that you're watching how people treat others when they don't have it, or you're learning who's real and who's performing. The power of observation is that it reveals everything without confrontation. You don't need to expose liars. They expose themselves over time if you just pay attention. You don't need to chase opportunities. You'll spot them before others do because your mind is still enough to see clearly. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to see things as they are. Not as he wished, not as he feared, as they truly are. That's what observation gives you, clarity over emotion. When you slow down and actually watch the world around you, you stop being manipulated by appearances. You stop reacting impulsively. You start responding intelligently. For example, someone criticizes you harshly. Most people react immediately, defend themselves, argue back. The Stoic observes first what's really happening here. Are they right? Are they projecting? Are they in pain? Observation gives you that pause, the space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies your power. Seneca once said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." But that power starts with awareness, because what you can see clearly, you can control. What you ignore controls you. So practice being the quietest person in the room, not to hide, but to see. Notice how people react under stress. Notice what they avoid talking about. Notice your own emotions rising and falling, without judgment. That's wisdom forming in real time. Observation gives you understanding, and understanding gives you control. The more you notice, the less you'll need to speak, because you'll realize most of what people talk about doesn't matter, but what they show when they think no one's watching. That's where truth lives. So slow down, watch more, talk less, because in a noisy world, silence sees everything. Secret 16. Respond, don't react, mastering emotional control. One of the hardest things to do in life is to remain calm when everything around you is chaotic. People test you, situations frustrate you, emotions flare, and most people lose themselves in the moment. They react, they snap, shout, or make choices they later regret. But Stoicism teaches something far more powerful. Don't react. Respond. A reaction is instinctive, emotional, and often destructive. A response, on the other hand, is deliberate, calculated, and controlled. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That means every insult, every disappointment, every obstacle, none of them can truly harm you unless you hand over your power by reacting blindly. Think of it this way: when someone pushes your buttons, they are trying to control you. They want to see if you'll explode, if they can drag you into their chaos. But when you pause, when you breathe, and take a second before you answer, you reclaim control. You show that you are above the moment, not trapped inside it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the heart of responding instead of reacting. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens inside you. Let's take a simple example. You're driving and someone cuts you off. Your instinct is to yell, honk, curse. But what does that do? Nothing. That you're just poisoning your own peace for someone you'll never see again. The Stoic response would be, they made a mistake. Let me not make another. Calmly continue your drive. That's not weakness, that's power. Because while others are slaves to their anger, you remain free. Or imagine your boss criticizes you in front of others. The emotional reaction is to get defensive or humiliated. But the Stoic response is silence, reflection, and composure. You listen, learn, and respond later with reason, not emotion. That's what wins respect and control. Responding doesn't mean suppressing emotion. It means understanding it. Recognizing that emotions are natural, but acting on them blindly is a choice. You can feel anger without becoming angry. You can feel fear without becoming fearful. Seneca put it perfectly. A man who is angry at the right things and with the right measures to be praised. Meaning, control doesn't mean apathy. It means proportion. It means knowing when and how to express what you feel, never letting your emotions steer the wheel. So the next time life provokes you, pause before you respond. Take one breath. Ask yourself, will reacting help or hurt? That small moment of awareness is a difference between chaos and mastery. Remember, the storm will always come, but you decide whether you'll stand firm or be blown away. Respond. Don't react. That's what makes you unshakable. Secret 17. Detach from outcomes. Focus on effort, not results. One of the greatest sources of frustration in life comes from wanting to control what we can't. We want things to go our way. The promotion, the relationship, the recognition. And when they don't, we suffer. But the truth is simple. You can control your effort, not the outcome. This is one of the central pillars of Stoicism. Epictetus taught, some things are up to us, and some are not. Your thoughts, actions, and choices are up to you. But what happens after that? People's opinions, luck, timing, fate, those are not. The Stoic learn to put 100% of their energy into what they can do and 0% into worrying about what they can't. When you detach from outcomes, you don't stop caring. You stop clinging. You stop tying your self-worth to results you can't control. You focus instead on process, on doing your best every single day. Marcus Aurelius put it best. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which arm you today. That means if you handle today with discipline and clarity, you will be ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Think about it this way. A farmer can plant the seeds, water them, and care for the soil. But he can't control the weather. If he obsesses over the rain, he suffers twice, once for worrying and again for the results. But if he focuses on tending the field, he finds peace regardless of the harvest. That's what detachment really is. Freedom. It's saying, I'll give everything I have, but I don't need the world to reward me for it. This mindset turns failure into feedback. It turns loss into learning. It makes you unstoppable because you're no longer dependent on outcomes for peace. When you stop obsessing over how things should go, you can finally see things as they truly are. You can adjust, adapt, and improve without emotional chaos. That's the power of Stoic detachment. Clarity over craving, focus over frustration. Seneca said, he suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. So don't suffer over outcomes that haven't even happened. Don't live tomorrow's pain today. Just do what's right and let the rest fall where it may. Detach from outcomes. Focus on effort because the results were never yours to control anyway. Only your character is. Secret 18. Embrace solitude. Learn to be alone without feeling lonely. In a world that glorifies noise, busyness, and constant connection, learning to be alone has become a lost art. Most people fear silence because silence forces them to meet themselves. They crave distraction, endless scrolling, talking, escaping, anything but being alone with their thoughts. But Stoicism teaches the exact opposite. Solitude is not emptiness. It's empowerment. That in silence that you see your mind clearly, that you understand who you truly are, that you build strength that doesn't rely on others. Seneca once said, I never spend a day in idleness. I never cease to read or to write or to think. He found peace not in crowds, but in moments of stillness, where he could examine his thoughts, sharpen his reason, and reset his emotions. Marcus Aurelius did the same. Even as emperor of Rome, surrounded by thousands, he often retreated into solitude to reflect and write. His journal, the Meditations, is proof that wisdom is born in silence. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Loneliness is a longing for something external. Solitude is satisfaction found within. That it's a difference between needing company and choosing peace. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you stop depending on the world for validation. You stop chasing people just to feel seen. You realize that true confidence doesn't come from being admired. It comes from being content in your own presence. Solitude also makes you dangerous in the best way, because while others waste time seeking constant stimulation, you're sharpening your mind, reflecting on your purpose, and planning your next move with clarity and calm. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." But he also warned, never let your happiness depend entirely on others. That if you can't stand to be alone, it means you haven't yet met your own depth. So instead of fearing silence, embrace it. Use solitude to think deeply, to read, to journal, to breathe. Let the noise fade and your inner voice rise. You'll discover that solitude is not a weakness. It's a fortress, or a place where no one can shake your peace, at a space where your thoughts sharpen and your spirit strengthens. Because the truth is, if you can't stand being alone, you'll never truly be free. Embrace solitude. Master yourself, and you'll never again be at the mercy of the world's chaos. Secret 19. Live with purpose. Let values guide every action. Every great Stoic, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, lived by clear principle. A life without purpose is a life wasted in distraction. Most people drift through their days reacting to whatever comes next. Emails, opinions, entertainment, emotions. They chase comfort, not meaning. But a Stoic knows that true fulfillment doesn't come from pleasure. It comes from purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's the heart of Stoic purpose. Don't just talk about your values. Live them. Don't just dream about a better life. Build it. Purpose gives direction to your strength, discipline to your choices, and meaning to your suffering. Without purpose, pain feels unbearable. But with purpose, pain becomes fuel. It becomes proof that you're on the right path. Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Meaning, if you don't know what you're aiming for, no opportunity will ever satisfy you. That you will keep moving, but never arrive. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or heroic. It can be simple. To become wiser each day. To help others. To master your craft. To live with integrity. The Stoics believed that our highest purpose was to live in accordance with nature, to align our actions with reason, virtue, and truth. That means choosing what is right over what is easy, what is lasting over what is fleeting. Living with purpose makes your decisions simple. When temptation appears, you ask, does this serve my purpose or distract from it? If it distracts, you let it go. When failure comes, you remind yourself, this is not the end, this is part of the path. Purpose transforms every struggle into progress. The IT gives you a reason to endure, a reason to rise every morning with discipline. Because you're not just existing, you're becoming. And here's the paradox. When you live with purpose, you stop chasing happiness. And that's exactly when happiness finds you. So take time to define what matters to you. What do you stand for? What do you want your life to mean? Write it down. Live it daily. Because in the end, it's not about how long you live, but how purposefully you lived each moment. Live with purpose. Let your values guide every action. That's how you live, not just exist. Secret 20. Face death. Remember that time is limited. This is the ultimate Stoic lesson, the one that ties all the others together. Memento mori. Remember you must die. To most people, death is something to fear, to avoid thinking about. But to the Stoics, remembering death wasn't dark. It was liberating. The IT reminded them to live fully, fiercely, and intentionally because every moment wasted was a piece of life they'd never get back. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." That single sentence is a pure essence of Stoic wisdom that if you truly understood that your time is limited, you'd stop wasting it on things that don't matter. Anger, envy, gossip, fear, or regret. You'd stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. That you'd speak with honesty, act with courage, and love without hesitation. Seneca said it perfectly. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We act as if life is infinite, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if opportunities will always come again. But every second that passes is one you'll never get back. Every hour spent scrolling, arguing, or complaining is an hour stolen from the only thing that truly belongs to you, your time. The Stoics practiced death in their minds not to be morbid, but to sharpen gratitude. To make every sunrise feel sacred. To make every breath a reminder. I am still here. I still have a chance to live rightly. Imagine if you woke up every morning with this thought. This could be my last day. Would you still waste time on trivial things? Would you still hold grudges, or fear judgment? No, you'd live with clarity, intensity, and peace. Facing death is not about giving up hope. It's about awakening to life. Because only when you accept that you won't live forever do you finally start living as if you mean it. When you understand that time is fleeting, you value it more. You spend it on things that truly matter: learning, growing, connecting, becoming. Seneca reminded us, while we wait for life, life passes. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for the future to start living. The Stoic way is to live now with virtue, gratitude, and purpose. Because in the end, death isn't your enemy, wasting your life is. So live wisely, love deeply, and remember always, you could leave life right now. Make what's left truly count. You've just learned 20 Stoic communication secrets. But understand this, it's not about memorizing words or techniques, that it's about becoming the kind of person whose presence means something. You don't need louder words. You need quieter strength. You don't need to perform. You need to be present. The Stoics didn't chase admiration. They became admirable through how they lived, through how they listened, spoke, acted, and stayed calm when everyone else was losing control. Remember this. Your character is your message. Every word you speak, every silence you hold, every boundary you set, it all tells the world who you are. So stop trying to be impressive. Stop trying to win attention. Instead, embody what you respect: calm, depth, honesty, and presence. Speak with intention. Listen with real curiosity. Protect your time. Honor your word. And never forget, your silence can speak louder than your noise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's it. That's the whole thing. Don't argue. Don't perform. Don't over-explain. Be. Because the most attractive, powerful, and unforgettable thing you can do is to live like you mean what you say. If this spoke to you, if these Stoic principles shifted how you think and communicate, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Not because they talk too much, but because they deserve to be heard when they finally stop performing. And remember, you don't attract people by showing them how special you are. You attract them by showing them how present you can be. Be that presence. Everything else follows. Exist.